Give me a quick sec, guys. I'm setting up some stuff real quick, and I'm gonna finish setting up some stuff, and I'll be right back. Okay, just give me a sec. This is kind of out of the blue kind of thing. I just saw that the verdict was in, so I'm trying to set up real quick. Just give me one quick sec. Okay, so give me there. Let me close some tabs I have open. It's starting to slow down. Um, there and there. Yeah, I know. I think the stream's running a little slow. Okay. I think we're good now. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Um, yeah. So this was kind of unexpected for me. I just saw something on Twitter about it, and that's what I set up. I thought it was a good thing to stream this because I mean this is important, and this is pretty important when it comes to the overall political environment in America because it is how should I? It's really what's going to bring America, I would say, furthermore apart. If he is said to be innocent, then there's no going back. We can't. Everyone's gonna riot. Everyone's gonna loot. Everyone's gonna destroy. There's no more. There's never gonna be peace again, because this has been hyped up by the media as a as just murder. And obviously we don't know for a fact if it's murder. We That's why the whole reason it went through the court. But the problem really is with this is that there was heavy influence by political leaders. We had Joe Biden. I believe he came out earlier today claiming he wants to see the right thing done with this case. Obviously the right thing to do is just to let the system play out, see what it goes through, and have justice happen. Have justice to see if okay. I'm sorry. I'm not really prepared for this, but if Chauvin is guilty, the just thing to do is to punish him. Um, if he is not guilty, it would be unjust for the law to punish Chauvin. The problem is, I don't think people can really trust the outcome of this. Because if he is guilty, if he's convicted, then how do we know that isn't just because these people were being pressured to say he was guilty? That's the real problem when it comes to this. And that's why there shouldn't have been a lot of there shouldn't have been all these politicians um threatening these jurors if they actually wanted justice to happen. And they were sending BLM out to, I believe BLM showed up to a house that used to be owned by one of the people in this case, and was like had like a decapitated pig head like left on their porch or stuff. Like, it was weird. Um, the thing is, I don't think that person in that case still lived there, but BLM still thought they did. And they tried to pressure them because they think if if they they want to get their outcome. And like I said, that is not justice. Forcing your will the way you want it to happen is not justice. That's an injustice. And that's really this problem here we see in this case, is that there's heavy influence from, like I said, Joe Biden. We had Maxine Waters out in Minneapolis to and she said there will basically, we're gonna keep rioting even if we don't get what they want. We're gonna riot. This isn't justice, and that's what I'm talking about. We can't, how are we supposed to trust our legal system anymore when it's so corrupt by these politicians pushing their wills onto everyone? Um, I'm keeping an eye on. I have another tab open here with Fox News up, and I'm still waiting for them to announce what the verdict is. It should have been. I think it was supposed to happen around like 4, and it hasn't happened yet. It's been a little later, but yeah, we're just. I mean, I think the whole world is literally watching this because it was so, hyped up. Like, oh my gosh! Like, even the thing is, when this first happened, we knew almost nothing compared to what we know now. When we first were shown, when the whole George Floyd incident happened, it was clear cut. The media was pushing out these little snippets of videos where it was George Floyd was just this guy who used a counterfeit $20 bill, and then the police just came on and knelt on his neck, and he kept saying he couldn't breathe, but the police didn't care because the police did not have a heart. That's what we were told. Now, if you want justice, you got to know the whole story. Now, the whole story is I believe the whole purpose the police were called was because Floyd had used a counterfeit $20 bill. Police came, they were talking to him, and I believe they were going to arrest him. And when they were arresting, they handcuffed him and were putting him in the back of the police car. Floyd started saying he could not breathe before they even put him in. When they were trying to put him in the police car. So that's the whole reason they put him on the ground. Then Chauvin knelt on Floyd's neck, and I believe it was for 9 minutes. Chauvin knelt on Floyd's neck. Okay, they just moved the verdict to come out for like 4:35 o'clock, so that's great. But so Chauvin knelt on his neck for like 9 minutes, and then Floyd died. But now we also know that Floyd had been high on fentanyl. Like, he had overdosed dramatically on fentanyl. I don't know how exactly they measure it. Of fentanyl, but it was like a really high number of fentanyl he had in his system. It was very high. Super high dose of fentanyl. He had a weak heart. He was claiming he couldn't breathe before he got into the car. Was he actually saying that? Right? Was he just acting like he couldn't breathe, or could he actually not breathe? We don't know, and that's the whole point of this case, is that we don't know. Oh yeah, you guys like my colorful hat right here? I guess I'll wear it for you guys. But we and we have the media, and I can't, I see her face, but I can't think of her name. they're coming out. Oh, there's no. We shouldn't even have a case. We all saw the tape. We all saw the tape. No, you didn't. You probably didn't actually see the tape. You saw what the media showed you. Like I said, if you actually saw the whole tape, there's reasonable doubt to say, oh, maybe Floyd didn't actually die of Chauvin because of Chauvin's knee. And that's the whole point of the case. Is because there is, if you actually look at the whole video, there's reasonable doubt to say Floyd was acting, you could say, fairly weird before Chauvin put his knee on his neck. I've stressed this before. I do not think Chauvin should have put his knee on his neck. It is a police tactic, I believe, and that was only like one part of the tactic. He should have done something else. I don't exactly remember the whole tactic, but because the whole purpose is to restrain the person, but you're supposed to like, I think you're supposed to put him to like put the person on their side so it's easier for them to breathe, something like that. And obviously Chauvin did not do that. Now, should Chauvin be charged of murder? No, I don't. I don't think he murdered George Floyd. I seriously don't think he did. Now, if you want to charge him with something else, reckless endangerment, I don't know what you would charge him with, but I am open to hear, like, hey, I think we should charge Chauvin with this because I don't think he should have put his knee on Floyd's neck. I totally agree with that. But to say that we know for a fact Chauvin murdered George Floyd is just a lie. It's not true. You don't know for a fact. If you guys want to consider hitting a like button, maybe hitting the subscribe button as well, that would really help out. I think we hit 30. We're at 34 subscribers on this channel. I think we hit 81 on the main channel like last week. It was pretty cool. Also, big announcement. I haven't really been talking about this much, but I will be on, hopefully, with Don the Pleb, I believe is his YouTube channel. On Thursday. I'll be live on his channel. So if you guys want to watch that, we're gonna do an interview. We're gonna talk about stuff. But I'm gonna be on. I believe it's Don the Pleb is his name, and the channel is Pleb Media. I can actually pull up the link for you guys because I just think it's kind of cool. Someone told me who I'm friends with, that I should be on his channel, and I reached out to the guy, and we should be doing a live stream on his channel Thursday, 2 days. So that'd be kind of cool. Here's his. That's the link to his channel. But yeah, Thursday. I think it's at 2 Eastern on his channel. Just if you guys want to check that out. So we're waiting for the verdict to come in. They moved it back to 4:30 to 5 o'clock Eastern because I don't know exactly what they're doing. But if I was one of these people in this verdict who had to make the decision if Chauvin was guilty or not, I believe they all live in Minneapolis. I would move out of town. I seriously would not. I would not, especially if they claim he's innocent. Just like I would have already packed my bags and just gone. Like I would already have my plane ticket ready. I would have everything ready. I'd just be like, see ya, because it's not gonna be good. Like they are, like you may agree with BLM. I agree with the common. I agree with the name BLM. I do think I'm not a racist. I do think Black Lives Matter. I think everyone's lives matter. But I've talked about this before. The problem is with BLM is that their main focus isn't about Black lives. They push out, oh, look at this cop killed this man. It's obviously racism. Cops are horrible. Blah 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 blah. Again, I don't like seeing people die. I don't like, even if Chauvin is innocent, I still not like, oh yes, I'm glad George Floyd died. Like I'm not like that. I don't want any of these people to die, but to say that it's racism and he's obviously guilty and just the fact that he's guilty is just wrong. Like it's not even true. You can't say for a fact that this man is guilty. I can't even say for a fact that this man is guilty. It's my opinion that I do not think Chauvin killed George Floyd. And we have I can pull it up on the screen real quick just to show you guys. There's crowds gathering. I see in this video, and it's gonna be hell. If they don't get what they want, it's gonna be hell. No, wait, no. I just showed my own live stream. No, no. Give me a sec. That was the wrong video. I meant to show that one. I mean, you could see there's crowds gathering right here. Um, in Minneapolis, it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be hell. If especially if they don't get what they want. I mean that's really, if you thought last year was bad, it's gonna be 100 times worse. And this is what I never understood with the whole BLM is that last year they were like, "Oh, justice for George. We want justice. No justice, no peace." It's like the whole thing is going through the court. Like, what do you want? Like, it's going through the justice system. What do you expect? Like, this is justice. This is how it works. It's like it's not even like we're just like ignored it and let the guy go. Um. Oh, could you guys not? Did it not show you the video? That's weird. Okay, let me try it again. That was kind of weird. It didn't show. I don't think. Oh yeah, yeah, okay. I think I know what happened. Give me a sec. I didn't. Yeah, I know. Okay, sorry. I forgot to. Give me a sec. I forgot to share it. I didn't click this one button to share it. But if you could see in that one video that there was obviously crowds gathering everywhere. That one box. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot. There's a button I needed to press to share it with you guys, and I forgot to do that. I was just looking at it back here. I'm like, oh, see this? And you guys are just like, what the heck is he talking about? But yeah, let me pull up a better image of this. No, I can't find a better image. Never mind. But you guys get my point. You could. I'll share it again just so you can see. Mm. Oh wait, now they're not showing it anymore. Never mind. I'm just watching this live stream on a Fox YouTube channel, News Now from Fox, and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for them to announce it. And it kind of also sucks that they pushed it back now like another half hour. So now I've got to sit here and talk about stuff for the next half hour, which I was not prepared to do. But it's fine. I can do this. Anyway, this comes from NBC News. It says a jury reaches a verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial. The jury has reached a verdict in the trial for former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, who is charged with murder and manslaughter, the death of George Floyd. The verdict will be read in open court around 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. That's what I was told. See, that's what I was told. I'm gonna take the hat off real quick. That's what I was told. That's why I set up the stream here. And then I was expecting to actually have them read the verdict like right as I was going live. It would have been better, but no, they had to push it back. The panel of 7 women and 5 men began deliberating Monday after 3 weeks of witness testimony. I mean, this is what I'm interested in because it was. I mean, that was like yesterday is when they started it, and now they've already reached the verdict. They're already done. It usually takes a little while, maybe a little while for them to do it, but no, they did it in like a day. So, which is fairly interesting, and I'm kind of leaning towards they're going to find him guilty, but whatever. It says Chauvin is charged with second and third degree murder and second degree manslaughter. A third degree murder charge was initially been dismissed, but is reinstated after appeals court ruling in an unrelated case established new grounds for it days before jury selection started. Second degree murder carries a maximum sentence of 40 years. Third degree murder carries a maximum sentence of 25 years. Second degree manslaughter is punishable by up to 10 years. So if he's found guilty, the least they're going to give him is 10 years. Oh no, that's the max, I think. But I'm saying if he's manslaughter, they're probably going to give him the max sentence they can, and the least they can give him is probably 10 years. Like I said, if it was up to BLM and the libs, I've talked about this in the video earlier. I made a video earlier on this channel if you guys want to check it out. But if it was up to BLM, they would have literally no trial, no nothing, hung. They would have I don't know if they would hang him, but they would have a public execution of Derek Shaw. Like I'm not even exaggerating with that. I seriously believe that if it was up to BLM, they would have already had a public execution. Chauvin, who is white, which in the truth of things does not matter. Like even if Chauvin killed Floyd, racism there's no proof that this is race. Like he did this because of racism. Like there's no proof of it at all. But they always want to push this narrative that Chauvin was white and Floyd was black, so it obviously means that he was racist. But Chauvin, who is white, knelt on Floyd's neck for several minutes as Floyd, who was black, was handcuffed and lying on the ground. Prosecutors argue that Chauvin's actions caused Floyd to die from low oxygen or asphyxia. The defense claimed that George Floyd's legal drug use and pre-existing heart condition were to blame and urged jurors not to rule out other theories as well, including exposure to carbon monoxide. During closing arguments, prosecutors sought to focus jurors' attention on the 9 minutes, 29 seconds they saw Chauvin knelt on Floyd's neck, while Chauvin's defense attorney told them that at the 9-minute and 29-second ignores the previous 16 minutes and 59 seconds of the interaction, which is exactly right. When this first happened, all you saw was, the 9-minute video where we just saw where you saw Chauvin kneeling on his neck, and there was no context behind it. So they pushed their narrative that, police officers are just horrible and they kill people for no reason at all just because they're black, because America's racist and police officers are racist. But there's a story, there's a whole story behind this. And as they said, like 16 minutes of a video before any of that happened. And that is important to the case. All these little details. Floyd had his drug dealer in the car. He could have, it's not that he overdosed on fentanyl. He had a high amount of fentanyl. He had a weak heart. I believe where they had him where they were kneeling on his neck, where he was laying down, was like right next to the car, which is their theory that it could have actually been the carbon monoxide from the car. All these things, like those are all important to the case. But nope, means nothing to them because they want to see Chauvin hang. And they only want to focus on those 9 minutes. Prosecutors called 38 witnesses, including a teenager who recorded the widely seen bystander video that brought global attention to Floyd's death. She and other bystanders who testified said they were haunted by Floyd's death and they wished they had done more to try to save his life. The defense called 7 witnesses, 2 of them who are experts. Chauvin had agreed to plead guilty to third-degree murder days after Floyd's death, but William Barr, then the U.S. Attorney General, rejected the deal because officials say he was worried that it was too early in the investigation and would be perceived as too lenient. Floyd's death touched off in international protests against police brutality and racial injustice. The city of Minneapolis has spent months preparing for the trial for the potential of unrest over the verdict. I believe it was I was listening to I believe it was Ben Shapiro earlier who brought up the point. I don't think he doesn't. I agree with him. I don't think the case should have been in Minneapolis where it happened in Minnesota. It was a horrible decision because all the jurors are all, I believe, people from that area. And if they say Chauvin is innocent, then they are going to have hell to pay because BLM will come after them. They don't care. BLM does not care about the facts of the matter. We are gonna take a short break. I and when we come back, we're gonna get into more of this because I wasn't expecting them to push it back a little bit, but I'm gonna go do something real quick, and we will get right back into this. Um, when I finish doing that thing that I need to do like really bad right now. Anyway, we'll be right back. Don't go. Welcome back. Welcome back. Is it good? I think the volume's good. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Um, Nothing has changed yet. We're still waiting for the verdict. Thanks for everyone who's dropped a like on the stream so far. It's really helped. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. It also helps support this channel. Um, Sorry, I had to go use the bathroom real quick. I was actually going to use the bathroom like right before I started this, but had to go live because this. I think, like I said, it's a pretty big story, and I didn't want to miss out on breaking the news because um It's a big story. I also got some water too because, like I said, we're probably gonna be waiting here for the next like. Well, they've already put it back like they already put it back like half an hour. Um, but I won't be surprised if they go put it back another half hour, and then we're gonna be stuck. I'm gonna be stuck here, talking about it for next. Excuse me, I'm hiccups now. For the next probably 2 hours, which is, I mean, I could do it. It's just it's not easy. That's why I'm here because I do I make the hard stuff look easy. Okay, at least that's what I've been told. Smash like if you agree. Give me a second. I'm gonna plug in this fan for this computer so it doesn't overheat. It does that during live streams sometimes. Okay, so thanks. Like I said, thanks for everyone who's dropped a like. If you're just joining us, we are waiting the verdict of the George Floyd case. Um, it got put back like another hour or so, so that's always, well, actually a half hour. So that's always cool. Frick, give me a sec. I'm trying to find a news story to talk about on this. Black Lives Matter tweeted out, "There will be no wins in this. Justice would mean George Floyd will still be with us." I mean, which is somewhat true if Chauvin did actually kill George Floyd. That's the thing. On this, we can never reach perfect justice on this world. There'll always be some form of imperfect justice, because if it was true justice, George Floyd, if like I said, if Chauvin actually killed him, true justice would be Floyd would have never died. So I mean, we can always reach some form of imperfect justice, which is what we'll see here. But like I said, I mean, I don't exactly disagree with Black Lives Matter here. I mean, it does make sense what they said. True, we won't be able to actually ever achieve true justice on this earth. Corey Bush, who I don't know exactly who he's a blue check mark on Twitter, says our hope is that this verdict will be a small step towards accountability, but that's just about accountability, not justice. For us, justice would be George Floyd alive today. And again, that's true. Ju- we never actually, that would be perfect justice, but we can't have perfect justice here. But I wanted to talk about. Um, I have no problem saying that I want accountability for police officers as well. Like if George Floyd I was actually killed by him, I actually want accountability. And people need to realize, with these Blue Lives Matter, and I think Blue Lives Matter. Um, I know multiple people who are police officers. I care about police officers. I think police officers are important to a society, but we need to be careful about the police as well. We can't get too close to them because I've talked about this before. When the government starts taking guns, starts going against their rights, it's not going to be people like Joe Biden or Kamala Harris coming to your door to take your guns. It's going to be the police officers. So you can't be like, oh, like I'll do anything what the police officers tell me, because they also work for they do what the government tells them. And sure, maybe not every police officer will do it, but there will be police who do that. There will. They are government. They do work for the government. And that's when you want to make sure. I believe the sheriff is an elected official, so you want to make sure you have a good sheriff, because who actually enforces the law and actually sticks by the rules of law, not what the government, just because the government tells them to do something. Just because the government says something doesn't mean it's the law. Like the government can also go against the law. Like the whole reason for the Constitution and whatnot is basically the law for the government. They're supposed to follow it. I'm just looking through Twitter to see what all the liberals are talking about George Floyd. We have Amy Siskind, another blue checkmark, another checkmark liberal, who also has. I mean, you also know it's a liberal because they have a gay flag in their profile. It says George Floyd's girlfriend, Courtney Ross, says she believes Chauvin will be found guilty. Now, if that happens, Floyd would want us to all come together and love each other, which is true. I think we should. I've talked before. I want the United States. I don't want us to be separated like we are now. The problem is we're not going to just come together after this. There's no coming together after this. I don't. I mean, I truthfully don't see a United States anytime soon because we're not united. There's no unity. I mean, seriously, what are we united again about? What unites us as Americans? We're so far apart. I don't think we'll ever have unity again, or anytime. Well, maybe not again, but just anytime soon. I just don't see it happening. And interesting thing here is it says George Floyd's girlfriend Courtney Ross says she believes Chauvin will be found guilty, and if that happens, Floyd wants us to all come together and love each other. What if he's not found guilty? Does that give you a reason to riot and destroy things? Is that reason enough to burn down cities like they've done for the past year? Here's a picture I'll show you guys. Give me a sec. You can see this is a picture of crowds gathering. A good one. Give me a sec. There, you can see some crowds gathering. Give me a second. And it's gonna get, like I said, it's gonna get crazy. I don't see a good outcome to this. I still think they'll riot, even if Chauvin is convicted, because it won't be a good enough for them. I seriously don't. I seriously do not see any outcome of this that is justice and BLM is happy, because it will never be enough. Like I said, unless Chauvin is given a public execution, it will not be enough for them. We hit 9 likes. Thanks for everyone who's liked on this video. Really helps support the algorithms. They still have not come out with a verdict. It should be coming. Hopefully, they don't push it back anymore, or I'm screwed. But it should be coming out in the next 10 minutes or so. This person, there's a tweet here that comes from Young Daddy on Twitter, that's their Twitter name. I don't know what this is. They're blue check marked. So it says, even if Chauvin is found guilty, the police violence against black people problem is still unsolved. There's nothing preventing another George Floyd incident from happening tomorrow. And I mean, what they're saying is kind of true. I mean, stuff like this could happen every day. The problem is it doesn't. And that's what a lot of these people don't understand is that stuff like this doesn't happen every day. Black people don't get killed by police every day. It's not like a normal thing for this stuff to happen by police officers. And like I made a video. I was talking about this in the video earlier. If you guys want to check it out, it's on this channel. If you can name every black person killed by police in the past year or so, it has not happened. It does not happen all the time. Because I mean, let's say there's George Floyd, Jacob Blake. Those are the two. There was the one guy, I can't think of his name, but he was the one guy who was like found asleep in the Wendy's parking lot. There's that guy. Um, I don't remember all these names, but I can tell you the instances. There's the one kid who just got killed in Chicago, I believe it was, and there's Breonna Taylor. That's a that's all I can name right now. But I was saying, like these people, I mean BLM, who they put all their names out, like oh my gosh, like they put like it's not a whole lot. The media blows it up like it is a whole lot. And again, yes, I don't want these people. I don't know these people, but I still don't want these people to die. Like, oh yeah, I don't care, just kill them all. But the thing is, it's not. There's no proof. You look at any of these instances. There's no proof of racism. Like, sure, it's a bad thing, but it's not racism. Don't try to turn it into something it's not. That's what I've never understood. It's like, yes, it's bad. It's not racism. There's even the George Floyd case, to which I do not agree that Chauvin should have knelt on his neck. There's no proof of racism. Don't try to turn it into something it is not. This comes from the Daily Wire. It says woke detergent company calls to defund police. It says George Floyd was murdered and that white supremacy is embedded into our country. On Monday, as the jury began their deliberations following the closing statements during the trial of Derek Chauvin regarding the death of George Floyd, household supplies company Seventh Generation posted on their Instagram account describing George Floyd's death as a murder. We continue to face deep racial inequity in our society as Derek Chauvin's trial comes to a close with the murder of George Floyd. And as more black and brown lives continue to be lost in the hands of the police, including Dante Wright, Adam Toledo, and the countless unnamed. Stopping the continued killing of black and brown people at the hands of the police demands we divest from police and invest in systems that build community health and well-being, especially in BIPOC, which communities who bear the biggest burden of systemic racism in policing. I don't know what BIPOC is. Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Okay, interesting. We are still waiting for the verdict to come in. And here's another one from Charisma Carpenter, a blue check mark liberal. Well, I don't know if it's a liberal, just a blue check mark person on Twitter. Most of the time, if they're blue check marks, they're probably a liberal. She says, hoping for a verdict that results in justice for George Floyd, his family, and the black community who live in fear of every encounter with the police and ultimately civil peace. Okay, there's a lot of problems with this tweet. Okay, one, these people do not understand what justice is. The whole point is going through the court is because we don't know for a fact if George Floyd was killed by Chauvin. That's the fact. Those are the facts of the matter. We don't know for a fact. They try to keep pushing it. We know. No, we don't. We don't know for a fact. There's all these other factors that we need to put in there. Like I said before, justice is people getting what they deserve. If Chauvin killed George Floyd, justice is him getting a punishment. That is what he deserves. That is justice. Punishing him for not killing George Floyd is not justice. That is an injustice. So saying that it better be for justice or it's just racism. She wants justice for George Floyd, his family, and the black community. The black community live in fear of every encounter with the police. Okay, I doubt that every black person lives in fear when they lives in fear of police. But if they actually do, it's not because of police. It's because of the media pushing this out there. I believe it was like LeBron James who was like, every black man is afraid that he's gonna get gunned down every time he steps or hunted down by police every time he steps out his door. This does not happen. It does not happen. Like I said, if you can name every time if you can name the people in the past year or so who have been killed by police, it does not happen all the time. Again, I don't want this stuff to happen, but it does not. The truth of the matter is, it does not happen all the time. And then she ends it with, and ultimately civil peace. Again, there is no going back from 2020. They let them these liberal cities especially let them um riot and loot and basically do whatever the hell they wanted. Now they have, which gave BLM the idea that they can do this all the time, and they are doing it. So they're going to keep doing this whenever something happens. So I seriously do not, like I said, I do not see civil peace, even if Derek Chauvin is found guilty. I don't see peace coming out. It just does not look like that's going to happen. Oof. Okay, I don't know if I should say this one. This one could get me in trouble on YouTube. Oh, I'm not gonna show it here. No, I'm not gonna say it, but I will. I need to say that's actually a pretty good tweet. Here's one from Frank Scott Jr., who's another check mark. He's the 73rd mayor of Little Rock, Arkansas. He says, as we collectively await in the verdict in the closely watched Derek Chauvin trial, my thoughts turn to George Floyd in the final minutes of his life on the street. I mourn his death and ask that you do also. I pray for his family in these moments and the coming days. Again, yes, I feel sorry for George Floyd's family. I mean, I do. Like I said, I don't want these people just like, oh, I hate them, die. Like I'm not like that. But I actually want the truth to come out, not some forced thing. No matter the verdict, we must never forget George Floyd. Okay, this is another problem I have with the George Floyd case. Did I want George Floyd to die? No. Do I know the guy? No. But I don't want to like just want people to die. But also, my problem is that they treated George Floyd like a saint. I'm sorry. Looking at his past, he wasn't a saint. Like he did some bad stuff. I believe he like robbed a woman. I don't know for a fact. I just heard somewhere this thing, but I believe he like robbed a woman at gunpoint in front of her child or something like that. Like again, I probably shouldn't have said that, but I don't know because I don't know it for a fact. I heard someone say it somewhere. I believe that person who said it. Um, but I haven't fact checked it myself. But he's not a saint though, and I find it kind of disturbing that they're trying to pretend that he is. Like he was, this like love. Like I mean, I'm sure I'm not gonna say he wasn't like loving or anything. I'm sure he was. He cared about people and whatnot. But I'm like, I don't act like he's Jesus. Like someone I believe in the trial literally compared him to Jesus Christ. Like just no, he's not. Okay, just, no, don't please. Okay, we're coming up to 5 o'clock now, which and they still have not had the verdict. Yeah, but they've been preparing for this for a couple days because they know what's gonna happen if if they say he's innocent. Like they know what's gonna happen. They've been preparing for this for a long time because it's gonna be hell if they claim he's innocent. We have there's all these blue checkmark liberals whining about people who call it the George Floyd case or the George Floyd trial. It's not this person. This tweet comes from Caroline Herons, who is a blue checkmark. I don't know who she is. She's a blue checkmark. It looks like she says she's a beauty industry veteran. Okay, I truthfully don't know who she is. I don't I don't use skincare or anything. This all comes natural, guys. But she complains it's not the George Floyd trial. George Floyd is not on trial. Derek Chauvin is. Yes, but to tell the truth, most people probably don't know who Derek Chauvin is. They know who George Floyd is. So when they call it the George Floyd trial, they call it the George Floyd trial so people will know what they're talking about. It's the whole point. And they'll, oh my gosh, how dare you call it the George? Yes, I know George Floyd is not on trial. The whole point people call it that is because they want people to know what the heck they're talking about. I reaching an hour now on the stream. Oh, they still have not called the verdict. It is now 5:02, and we still don't have the verdict, which is always cool. Let's see what else they're talking about. Let's see who else what else they're saying about George Floyd on Twitter. Everyone's talking about how even if uh Chauvin is found guilty, this won't be justice. Which again is true because on Earth we can never actually have perfect justice. Because especially when like someone is killed, because perfect justice would be them not dying, but you'll have to hammer it over the head over and over again. Also, snowing is trending on Twitter, which is true. I went upstairs during that break I took to grab a drink, and it is snowing outside my house. And it's April 20th. It's 4:20, by the way. But yeah, it is snowing, and it's possibility we're gonna have 3 inches of snow by tomorrow morning, which is just great. It's something I just need. I'm wearing shorts right now. Like that's how warm it's been, and now it's snowing. Some, I mean, sometimes I wish we had global. I just come on, global warming, please. Leah McEl McElrath says, "Fellow white folks, no matter what the verdict, lift up black voices." Cool. No matter what happens, this is George Floyd's younger daughter, Gianna, who should not be facing growing up without her father. Okay, this comes from Elena. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Um, she says, I think I'll just sit and reflect on George Floyd until the verdict is announced and pray he gets justice." That's cool. She has like pictures of, like candles and stuff. Here's one from my man Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire. He says George Floyd's death will go down as the most consequential drug overdose in history. Damon Linker, who's another he's a check mark. He's a columnist. He says, "I have to say, despite thinking that Chauvin killed George Floyd and deserves to be punished, it is unnerving to hear so many on CNN said he must be found guilty on all three counts in order for justice to be done and violence averted, which is exactly right. I talked about it at the beginning of the stream. This way, give me a sec. Looks like we're heading in. We have the judge is now seated. We're waiting for the verdict here. They're getting ready to read the verdict, but I'm gonna finish what I was saying. Um, it's disturbing. They don't, like I said at the beginning of the stream, they don't want justice. If they wanted justice, they would leave it alone and just let it play out. They're trying to force what they think on it. Here we go. They're getting ready. He's reading the verdict now. State of Minnesota plaintiff versus Derek Michael Chauvin, defendant. Verdict, count one. Court file number 27, CR 6. We the jury in the above entitled matter as to count. We the jury in the above entitled matter as to count one, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony. Find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, juror foreperson, juror number 19. So it sounds like. Give me a second. Seems like they're finding him guilty on two charges now. It seems like they have just found Chauvin guilty of all three counts, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. I seriously do not think this is the truthful answer. I think that they were forced to do this by the mob. They're forced to do this by the media. They're forced to do this by the liberals. They're forced to do it by everyone because they found, okay, so this is a verdict. They found Chauvin guilty of second degree unintentional murder. They found him guilty of third degree murder and second degree manslaughter. All three counts they found him guilty of. And like I said, I seriously do not think that they actually. I mean, maybe they did. Like I said, but so Chauvin is now found guilty. Um, that's the final verdict. That's what we've all been waiting for for the last hour. Wow. I mean, maybe this was what I mean. I seriously don't know. But I seriously do not think um and there we go. Chauvin is found guilty on all three charges. And give me a sec. I I mean, like, I'm not like, oh no, like Chauvin, no. But I'm just saying, I seriously do not believe that maybe the jury. I don't think the jury seriously wanted this, but they were forced to do this by people like BLM. They're forced to do this by uh the media, forced to do this by liberal politicians. They're forced to do it by they were forced. I seriously believe that they were forced to do this because if they didn't, BLM would have. I seriously don't. I believe this. They would have hunted them down and possibly killed them. I seriously believe that they had no problem burning down cities while after the police officer was already arrested. If he went free, they would have. I seriously believe they would have killed those people on the jury. I seriously believe that. They probably burned down their houses. I'm not. That's not an understatement. I don't believe it as to be a joke. I seriously believe that. But that's the verdict, and that's what we have now. Thanks for everyone who watched. I just, my final thought is, I seriously don't believe that this was the real beliefs of the jury. I just think they were pressured to do this. We saw this by uh, Joe Biden. We saw this by Maxine Waters. We saw this by the mainstream media. We saw this by BLM. We saw it by everyone. Don't know. And truthfully, we may never know. But I don't. I seriously don't think that Chauvin killed Floyd, and I don't think that this is really justice. I think this is an injustice. Anyway, this is the Big Nick Show, special report from the Chauvin trial. Thanks for everyone who dropped a like on the stream. We hit like 9 likes on the stream, I believe. Thanks for everyone who did that. Thanks for everyone who watched during the stream. And like I said, just to recount, Chauvin convicted of all 3 murder charges. I believe it's second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. I believe were all 3 charges. Second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter were all 3 charges found all guilty by the jury. Thanks for everyone who watched. Thanks for everyone who liked. Make sure you subscribe, and see you tomorrow.